Want to know if you're overtraining? Watch this.
Our next caller is John from New Jersey.
John, what's happening? How can we help you?
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for taking the time with me today. I really appreciate it. Been a listener since about 2018. So it's kind of surreal being on this. But yeah, so thank you.
Very cool. Right on.
Yeah, so kind of my question was about 2 years ago when COVID all started, I went through a pretty aggressive cut. And this was after kind of already seeing some small declines in the gym in general. But what happened was I kind of had a lot of trouble regaining my lean body mass after that. And as someone kind of who had always been going to the gym, pretty frustrating for me. Thankfully, actually kind of from listening to your podcast, within the past couple months, I decided to kind of check out my hormones, where I found out that my testosterone was really low, like low 200s. I ended up getting on TRT to help solve that. This was, of course, kind of after going through all of the, lifestyle steps, good sleep, nutrition and whatnot. So basically, since then, I kind of haven't seen what I was hoping for, at least in terms of physique improvements. I know that to some extent, it's not a miracle thing, but still, I've been kind of slowly reverse dieting, training, and not really seeing anything in the way of metabolism, body composition improvements. So the one thing that I'm kind of debating is if this could be a result of overtraining for me, and kind of how I would go about fixing it. Just for reference, I do weight train about 45 minutes, like an hour, 6 days a week, get 10,000 steps. So just a little bit of background.
Where's the calories at right now? Like what size? How big? How heavy are you? Give me some more stats.
So yeah, right now I'm 5'6", about 127. And that's actually a bit up in weight from before I started TRT. Like I said, I got to the point where I kind of leaned out way too much. Kind of where even like friends were like, hey, like you don't look like, the same kind of lifting guy you used to. And then calorie wise, I'm only sitting around like 2,000 right now, where I feel like if I start to go over that, I start to notice my body putting on weight.
Okay, John, what were your workouts like before TRT and what are they like after?
It's pretty much been the same. I've always been mostly, lifting, weight training, never been doing kind of, cardio junkie type of things. And yeah, kept them pretty much, in the same kind of time frame, leaning more towards like bodybuilding style. But kind of from you guys learning to try and mix it up in terms of sometimes strength and whatnot.
What makes you feel like you're overtraining? Like, do you have any other signs? Are you just getting sore,
super
tired?
Fatigued, yeah.
The reason I question it is not from like a soreness or fatigue thing. I think again, as someone that really, enjoys the whole kind of, process of getting in the gym, I've never felt like unmotivated. It just seems to be a lack of results.
Okay. I would change your workout. Definitely
follow a program.
Yeah. We'll put you on MAPS Anabolic. That one works really well for a lot of people. So I would change the programming. And you're right with TRT. It's not a miracle. So I think a lot of times people think I'll get my testosterone up to where it's supposed to be. And yes, you'll feel typically more energy, a little bit more drive, motivation. You will build a little bit of muscle. You will burn a little bit more body fat, but it isn't a miracle. So it's not going to fix things.
I would want
everything for you.
I would, I'm not a nutritionist, so it's not but if it was me, I would bump my calories a little bit. Because you're on TRT, one of the perks of being on TRT is you have this loud muscle building signal now 24/7. So if you eat additional calories and you are following a good program like MAPS Anabolic, more than likely those additional calories are going to get partitioned over to building muscle. Part of why you may be stalling out is because you're training 6 days a week and you're hitting it pretty intensely and you're not quite giving the body enough. And maybe you have this little fear that you're going to start to put on a bunch of body fat. And so every time you start to feed a little bit more, you back right back off. But maybe that's exactly what your body needs. So I would look into increasing my calories a little bit while also following anabolic and see what that does. I have a pretty good feeling if you do that, you should start to see some strength gains relatively quick.
Okay. Now, the one thing I would say is, I think what's always kind of made me a little bit hesitant of hopping on one of your programs is just because I'm someone that, you know, it's not just the physical aspect of it, but I really enjoy the mental thing of, you know, getting in the gym, you know, those 6 days and touching the weights. And I have kind of tried to do some of those things.
Go 6 days
hey,
then.
you know,
Go 6 days then. Go 6 days. The other 3 days, walk around, touch weights, and walk on the treadmill.
I mean, you can go to the gym.
Yeah.
You can even do this. Look, you could take the 3 foundational workouts, MAPS anabolic, cut them in half, so you have 6 if you want, or you could do the way it's laid out. Go to the gym, do one of your trigger sessions, do some mobility work.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, it's like I get the mental aspect. I'm the same way. There's other things you could do though. You don't have to hit the body with bodybuilding workouts every single day, especially if it's not working for you.
More isn't better always. If you have an inclination that you might be overtraining at all, have you ever tried to do the opposite? Have you ever tried to eliminate a few days out of the week and see what that did to your body? You got to kind of experiment a bit. If you know you're not getting results, you got to change it up.
And I'm okay with the argument of the mental aspect because I totally get that. And then still go to the gym. There's plenty of things you can do that isn't, you know, stressing the body to try and, you know, build more muscle by lifting more heavy weights. Like, it sounds like to me you're overtraining by the amount of volume you're potentially doing, and that and not consuming enough calories, and by sending the right signal by probably reducing the amount of volume, like a MAPS anabolic type of a program, you're probably going to see your body start to respond. And if you need that consistency of, hey, I've built this routine of every day between this time, that's my hour in the gym. Well, still go, bro.
Yeah.
Go walk, go stretch, go do the sauna, go swim, go do some other things.
Body weight and rubber bands. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to always be weights and intensity.
Right. So there's plenty of things you could still go do at the gym that aren't going to be as taxing as going and hammering the weights 6 days a week. And it's because it sounds to me like that's probably the part of the problem right now.
Yeah. And, you know, again, because, you know, it is something I enjoy, I'm sure, you know, I know for a fact that there are days when, you know, I'll start to, you know, push a little more than I should. So I do like the idea of the, you know, foundational and kind of splitting that up. Just related to that, is there any way you would recommend splitting the sessions, like do's and don'ts, in terms of, you might want to keep, maybe, switch the arms portion to your day that wouldn't be foundational, the calves.
No, I think you're overcomplicating that. I would look at MAPS anabolic, the foundation day. I would pick half of the exercises I want to do one day, pick the other half another day. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, you can do like, you know, legs, chest, back, and then do shoulders and arms the next day. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
All right,
Thank
John.
you.
No problem.
Right
man.
on.
Yeah, it's always frustrating because it's like I want to get better results, but I don't want to give
I don't
up.
want to change anything though, actually.
Yeah,
because I like what I'm doing.
That makes it really tough, right?
It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough one, especially when like it's already an identity thing. Like, I go to the gym this many times, and you know, to change that routine, no thanks.
Yeah.
Well, there's a part of me that gets the whole like, because
I mean, I like going, but I do different stuff.
you're right. So I mean, I got to that place where, you know, I was consistently going 7 days a week, and I love that. I love that I had this, like, I was eating breakfast at the same time every day. I was working out at the same time. I had the next meal at the same. I mean, I was so routine. And that was some of the greatest progress I'd ever seen in my physique. Mm-hmm. But I'm also smart enough to know that if I'm going to the gym 7 days a week, those 7 days, the intensity of training cannot look the same. There's just no way. I will not continue to progress. And he said it himself. He's like, you know, he'll have a tendency to want to push it because you feel good. You know, a lot of times just because you feel good and okay, and you think and because you can do it, Sal already says it, just because you can do it doesn't mean it's optimal for you. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where we make this mistake is like, well, I can do it. I'm going 6 days. I can lift the weights. I'm able to do it. Feels good while I'm doing it. It's like, well, yeah, but it's not optimal for your body, especially if you are potentially underfeeding it too. Yeah. So if he's underfeeding it and he's training with that high of volume, like you totally, and then I don't know what his programming looks like. I don't know his experience of what it looks like for him pairing exercises and his exercise selection, or
the volume.
How about this? We didn't even ask him this. How long have you been doing that same fucking routine?
Yeah.
You've been doing that same 6-day routine, the same muscle splits and the same exercises you love to do for the last 6 months to a year. Well, that could be part of your reason why you're plateaued too. So yeah, follow something else for a little while, back off the volume, maybe increase the calories a tiny bit and see how your body responds.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that people, I mean, I would like to see his workouts because a lot of people will optimize hormones exogenously, right? So have a doctor give them testosterone, and then they work out harder, and then they add volume.
Of course.
And it doesn't work that way, right? Yeah. And if you were overtraining before and you go on hormones, that doesn't mean all of a sudden you stop overtraining. You still probably need to back off and give yourself some time. He says he's only been on it for 4 months. You know, it takes a good 8 months to a year before you even really start to feel the full effects.
You gotta allow your body to recover. That's where all the magic happens.
That's
People
right.
always forget that.